At the foot of Mount Tohamsan in the region of Gyeong-Ju, a famous sanctuary attracts thousands of sightseers. Before the buildings of the Pulguk-Sa Temple come into view, the route leads along a bridge over the Gyeong-Ju, the Pond of Wisdom. The huge number of daily visitors from all over South Korea highlights the value of this impressive Buddhist temple complex. The historic origins of Pulguk-Sa date back to the early 6th century, but unfortunately, none of the original buildings has survived. In the middle of the 8th century, while under the rule of Silla monarch King Gyeongdeok, the sanctuary was enlarged with various fine buildings. In 774 AD, the beautifully decorated temple was given its name of Pulguk-Sa, Temple of Buddha's Land. A number of extraordinary stone sculptures indicate the age as well as the special significance of the temple and monastery complex. The sanctuary also reflects Korea's dramatic history. In 1592, the main section of the temple complex was destroyed by the Japanese. Most of the wooden buildings of Pulguk-Sa have either been rebuilt or lovingly restored. The present temple complex is divided into two courtyards that each contain several beautiful sacred buildings. The first courtyard contains a meeting hall and two fine stone pagodas, Seokatap and the famous Pagoda of Overflowing Opulence. Dabotap Pagoda is one of the most famous monuments in South Korea. It dates back to around 751 AD. The contemporary monarch of the Silla realm, its 35th monarch, King Gyeongdeok, was responsible for many alterations to the buildings and also the construction of several new temples in Pulguk-Sa. Due to his splendid building works, King Gyeongdeok is well recorded in Korea's history books as a great supporter of Buddhism. However, his desire to declare Buddhism as the official state religion only became reality 200 years later in the Goryeo realm. During the 500 years of the Goryeo Dynasty, several kings influenced the buildings of the Pulguk-Sa Temple. Thus, its architecture is something of a mixture. In the first courtyard of the temple complex, there are some fine stone pagodas, particularly the 3-story high Dabotap Pagoda. This pagoda contains various illustrations that feature the doctrines of Buddha. Its architecture followed numerous symbolic meanings. Sadly, this section of the temple was destroyed by the Japanese, who occupied Korea at the beginning of the 20th century. One of the pagodas was completely dismantled by the Japanese. Perhaps they expected to find a hidden treasure, but without success. Fortunately, the buildings around the courtyard have since been restored, and today nothing remains of the former destruction that once took place here. The various halls, pavilions and shrines of the sanctuary are situated within walled gardens. The modesty of the buildings is quite striking. The simple form of the buildings not only demonstrates the great skill of the former master builders who created them, but also the deep faith of the people. The interior of the halls and shrines of Pulguk-Sa contain many valuable works of art, including ancient Buddha statues. The buildings are splendid. Despite its modest appearance, the temple complex enchants with its many fascinating buildings. In front of the Gyeong-Ju, the Hall of Enlightenment that borders the courtyard with the two famous stone pagodas, is a stone lantern that was once used for various ceremonies. At the time of the Goryeo monarchy, this sanctuary was highly revered. But under the following Joseon dynasty, it lost its significance. The Joseon kings favored another Asian philosophy, Confucianism, which they declared as the state religion shortly after taking power. Despite this major religious transformation, the Buddhist temple and monastery complex of Pulguk-Sa survived. Thanks to the use of stone, many of the buildings of this sanctuary have survived right up to the present day. The original beauty of these buildings has withstood the often violent history of this country. Pulguk-Sa is still regarded as both a masterpiece of Buddhist art and the home of many of Korea's national treasures.